Hey guys, welcome or welcome back to my channel. I hope y'all are doing well today. Today we're going to be checking out the new Morphe Filter Effect Foundation. So I actually did my intro before I started putting my makeup on, but I decided to do it again after the makeup is on because I'm really excited and I wanted to give you guys a spoiler alert and let y'all know I just put this on maybe like 30 minutes ago, so I'm filming this at the beginning of my wear test. However, I am really impressed with this foundation so far. So if the foundation continues to wear the way it has been since I put it on, this might be my new like everyday like go-to foundation. I am just really loving this so far. So I'm going to take y'all back and show y'all the process of when I put the foundation on, and then from there we're going to do the wear test and see if it really holds up on my skin, because if it does, this is going to be my new favorite foundation. So before we get into that, if you're new to the channel, thank you so much for stopping by. My name is SonyaNicole and I post new makeup videos every week, including some stuff for makeup lovers who are 40 and over. So if that sounds interesting to you, please make sure you subscribe because I would love to have you join and I would really appreciate your support. Okay, you guys, let's jump right into it. Okay, so here is the new Morphe foundation. This is called the Morphe Filter Effect Soft Focus Foundation. It's supposed to be long wearing, it's oil free, and it has a natural finish. It's supposed to hydrate the skin and blur imperfections. Some of the star ingredients in here are hyaluronic acid, vitamin C, and glycerin. And this is supposed to have a medium to full buildable coverage. So we're going to be testing all of that out today. This comes in 40 shades, and right now all of the shades are available at Ulta, and this will be available on Morphe's website and in Morphe's stores on February 16th. And I think now through March 31st, it's like a long stretch of time when you buy this foundation, but I think it's only at Ulta. When you buy the foundation, you do get a free foundation brush. This is the E63 foundation brush that you'll get for free with the foundation, and this has a $16 value to it. And the foundation itself retails for $20. So it comes in like a standard, like I would say kind of like a luxe type of packaging for it to be. I guess you would consider Morphe more of like a drugstore brand. It's a little more expensive than typical drugstores, I guess, especially for this being $20, but I think all of Morphe's stuff is a little higher than drugstore. A couple of people did mention about the frosted bottle. It's like really frosted to the point where I think when I go ahead and put this foundation on, it's going to look a lot different on my skin than it does in the bottle because it's like a super frosted bottle. And I have the shade Rich 25, which is described as a rich with pink undertones. So I did watch Makeup Shayla's video on this because she's the face of this campaign, and this is one of the shades that she swatched, and I could tell based on her swatch that this was going to be a good shade match for me. It has a really nice pump on it. I like this like finger part right here. That's really nice. Okay, I'm gonna shake it up even though I don't really hear anything moving around, but I like to shake up foundations when I use them for the first time. I'm gonna do a quick hand swatch. Okay, so this is MD25, and in case you are watching one of my videos for the first time, I get really excited when I come across complexion products that have a pink undertone to it because that's rare for me. I do have a few, but usually I have to pass up on foundations because they don't have an undertone for me. So I'm hoping that y'all can tell that the foundation kind of just disappeared right into my hand. And like I said, I can tell that this is going to be a good match for my face. This is the only pink undertone in like my complexion range, just in case you can use me as a shade reference. So normally when I test out foundations for the first time, I like to test them out with stuff that I'm very familiar with, including the application tools, but I am going to make an exception today and use the foundation brush that came with the foundation. And I also don't usually wear primer, but I never test out foundations for the first time with the primer. I like to see just how it's going to wear on its own without the assistance of a primer on my face. So I have on my moisturizer and sunscreen right now. So we're going to go in with, I'm going to start off with about a half a pump. That's usually what I start out with. That might be a little bit more than a half a pump, but we're going to start out with that. And I'm going to take the foundation brush and just start blending it out. I always blend out foundation right in this area first because that's where I need the most coverage. And then I'm just gonna blend it all the way out on this side of my face. So I can already tell, so it did definitely cover up a lot of stuff over here, but it didn't cover up as much as like a half a pump would with some of my other foundations. I feel like I'm not getting quite as much coverage for it to be a medium buildable coverage. But it did cover up some. It's not like horrible, but I was expecting a little more coverage from that amount of foundation. So I am very satisfied with the color of it because I feel like it just totally disappeared into my skin. I feel like this is like light coverage so far, but what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put a half a pump over here and then I'll put more over here so we can see if it's buildable. I feel like I need just a little bit more to make it even on this side. I really like this brush too. This is nice. Okay, so this is about a full pump all over my face, half a pump on each side. And I would say it's like more like light to medium coverage as opposed to like a straight medium coverage. But I'm gonna go in with another half a pump over here so we can see if it does in fact build up. I'm just trying to wipe off some of the foundation off of the pump. And I'm gonna try to concentrate most of this foundation like right on my cheeks, because again, that's where I want the most coverage, but that's also where I test whether or not I would consider something to be buildable, to see if it completely covers up my scarring. So as you can see, another half a pump pretty much covered everything up very easily. So far I would say that this is nice and buildable. So this is basically like a full pump on this side of my face. And then over here, this is a half a pump. So I do think it is buildable because I am getting more coverage on this side of my face. I just wouldn't consider this like a full coverage foundation because I do feel like I put on more than enough to be able to get full coverage, and I'm not getting that. So if you like a medium coverage for everyday wear, which I do, this would be good for that. But it's claiming to be medium to full. I mean, maybe if I put on more, I would be able to get full coverage, but I feel like I've already put on enough to where I should be getting full coverage. But just to make sure we're even, I'm gonna go in with a half a pump on this side, and that'll give us like a full pump on each side of the face. If you get this foundation, just make sure that you get this brush because number one, it's free, and this is a really nice brush. I am really enjoying using this brush. Okay, so here we are with one pump on each side of the face, and first impression wise, I really like it so far. I like the finish of it. I love the shade because it is kind of rare for me to get a shade that's like this much of a good match. So I am really liking the shade, but I do like the coverage of it also. I think it does look really nice and natural. I think it looks really pretty. The only thing I'll say about it so far is that I just don't consider it to be medium to full coverage. I feel like it's a straight medium coverage foundation. I'm going to say light to medium, not medium to full. But other than that, I really like it so far. So let me know what you guys think. Okay, so whenever I do foundation reviews, I like to show y'all how the rest of my complexion products are working with the foundation. So I'm going to go in with my Too Faced Born This Way concealer. And I'm going to use this for under my eye and kind of like the center of my face. And I like to take my foundation brush to blend out on the chin and the forehead. And then I like to switch over to this brush to get the corners of my mouth and under my eye. This brush is just a little more dense than my foundation brushes. Okay, I put a little bit more under eye concealer on. I'm gonna let this sit while I do my brows and I'll be right back. Okay, now I'm blending out that second layer of my concealer. I'm going to set my concealer with my Coty Airspun powder. This one is the shade Honey Beige. So I'm just picking some up on a really fluffy brush and I'm just going to dust it over my concealer. I've been setting my concealer like this for the past like couple of weeks as opposed to using a damp sponge. And I'm going to set the foundation with my Sephora Microsmooth powder. So lately I've been setting my foundation, any foundation that I've been wearing, I've been setting it with the Fenty powder foundation. I've been using that more so as a setting powder lately. But that foundation does a really good job of like blurring your skin. And this foundation is supposed to also give you a blurring effect. So I feel like I don't want to put another foundation on top of it that's also supposed to blur, because I really want to see the finish of this kind of like on its own. But I do definitely need to set it, you know, just so it won't move around so much. Okay, so I'm going to zoom you guys in for a close-up. So this is what my face is looking like after putting on the concealer and setting the foundation. So I do really like this so far. I do think it looks like I have like a nice clean finish on my face, a very smooth finish. It does have a very natural finish also. And I can't really find any complaints about it so far. I guess the only complaint would be that it's not, I don't consider it a full coverage foundation like I said earlier, but I think it's a really nice medium coverage. Like so far, this would be like a really nice just everyday type of foundation for me. So I like it so far. I'm gonna do the rest of my makeup off camera and then we'll come back and we'll start the wear test. Okay, so here is my makeup for today. I like to do really simple makeup looks when I'm testing out a foundation because I want to stay like focused on the face. So I don't like to do like a whole lot of like colors on my eyes and stuff like that. I like to just keep it simple. So my makeup has been on, the foundation rather, has been on only for about like 30 minutes because it didn't take me a long time to do my makeup. So I feel like I really like this. Like if this foundation continues to wear well, it's only been like 30 minutes so far, but if it continues to wear like this might be like my new like go-to foundation because I think it's that pretty. I will say though, around my mouth, I feel like it looks a little darker than the rest of my face, but all foundations look like that to me. Sometimes I feel like maybe I'm seeing something that's not there, and then I keep saying to myself I need to revisit color correcting around my mouth and see how I like that, but for whatever reason I just don't do it. But aside from that, it doesn't look bad around my mouth. It just looks a little bit darker to me right up in here than it does on the rest of my face. But other than that, it looks really pretty. I think I have like a really smooth, natural finish. It paired very well with everything else that I have on my face, and I'll have everything listed in my description box. But so far, I'm like really impressed. So I'm really hoping that I have a good wear test today. So before we get started with the wear test, I just wanted to really quickly tell you guys that I am wearing the new, well, it's not new anymore, but the Maybelline Lifter Gloss. This one is in the shade Stone. I tried this out for the first time, so I do have it on right now. And to me, this was like a dead-on dupe for the Fenty Gloss Bomb Cream and Fenty Glow. Like they look very different in the tube, but I feel like on my lips, this looks just like Fenty Glow. So I know we're not talking about this today, but I just wanted to make sure I mentioned that so I wouldn't forget. So first impression wise, I really like this foundation. I really hope that it holds up for a good amount of time on my skin. So we're gonna start our wear test, and it is going on 8 o'clock in the morning. So I usually go for about 6 to 8 hours to do a wear test because that's pretty much all I need to know if I'm gonna like a foundation. But I'm just gonna wear it and see how long it lasts. If I feel like before I get to the 6-hour mark that it's time to refresh the makeup, then I'll just stop the wear test when it's time to refresh. But hopefully I can make it to 6 to 8 hours, so we will see. So I will see you guys in a little bit. Okay guys, I am back. It's 3:39 in the afternoon, so we made it to almost 8 hours of wear. with this foundation. So I have my hair pulled back so we can see what my face really looks like, and as you can see, I am oily like in my T-zone area, which that happens pretty much all the time. So I'm gonna refresh the makeup in just a little bit, but I just wanted to compare it to a couple of other foundations that I wear. I don't think that it wore quite as well as the Rare Beauty foundation and the Fenty one, so I think these two lasted a little longer on me before I got to like this level of oiliness. And also with the ColourPop Pretty Fresh foundation, so I feel like this foundation might have been like the best wear test that I've ever experienced, but unfortunately I never wear this foundation because the shade is just really off. This is a cool undertone foundation, but it pulls like really gray on me, so I never wear this. But I don't think that this Morphe foundation wore quite as well as those other three, but it's definitely wearing nicely. Like, this is definitely something that I would wear on a regular basis, something that I would put in my normal rotation of foundation. So I'm gonna refresh the makeup so we can see how it looks after I do that. I'm just gonna take a napkin here and I'm just gonna blot in my T-zone area. It definitely lasted long enough for me, but I do always like to see like how makeup refreshes just in case I need it to last a little bit longer. I can just see, you know, how it's going to perform in that area. So of course that right there made a big difference. I don't think that any of the makeup came off or anything, and I am going to go back over that area with just a little bit more powder. So the brush that I used earlier today is like way over there. So yes, I'm being lazy. I'm just picking up another brush to just repowder in my T-zone area. And I'm also putting some of this powder over my brows because they're looking a little oily too. Okay, so this is what we are looking like after I refresh the makeup, after I blot off some excess oil and then go on top of it with some powder. And I do think it looks like I just put the makeup on, so I am still really liking it. I just always like to make sure that when I go in and blot, that none of the makeup is like breaking up or coming off, and that it's still intact if I do need to like refresh it during the day. So my final thoughts, I don't want to reiterate everything that I've already said in the video because I know that y'all already know that I just really love this foundation. Do I think it's like my new favorite? Not quite, because I don't think it wore quite as long as my Fenty and my Rare Beauty foundation, which I really like those two. However, this one did wear long enough to where I could see myself using this over and over again. I'm probably gonna end up using this in like my next handful of videos. You know how when you get something new, you really like it and you just can't put it down? I feel like I'm gonna be using this a lot in the near future. This is definitely a better shade match than those other two foundations, so I definitely like that. And the price point is better too because it costs $20, so it's a little cheaper than those other two foundations. But like I said, it lasts long enough for me, just not quite as long as my Fenty and my Rare Beauty foundation. So I'm not going to say that this is like my new favorite all-time foundation, but I can see myself putting this in like my top 5 because I do like it that much. So I am really, really happy with this foundation. And I also wanted to mention this brush again too. Make sure you get this brush. I know I said that earlier, but this brush is really, really nice. It's just really comfortable to use. It covers a lot of surface, and you can also use it to get like in small areas of your face. So those are my final thoughts on this new Morphe foundation and the new foundation brush. Let me know what y'all think in the comments. Thank you so much for watching today. I really hope that y'all enjoyed the video. If you did, please let me know by giving me a thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe before you head out, and I'll see y'all back here for my next one. Until then, take care. Have a good one, y'all. Bye.